Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about vehicle controls in your general knowledge section on your CDL manual. So the first thing in the vehicle controls section that we're going to talk about is seeing visibility. To be a safe driver, you need to know what's going on all around your vehicle. Not looking properly is a major cause of accidents. Seeing ahead. All drivers look ahead, but many don't look far enough ahead. Importance of looking far enough ahead, because stopping or changing lanes can take a lot of distance. Knowing what the traffic is doing on all sides of you is very important. You need to look well ahead to make sure you have room to make these moves safely. I want to give a quick example of that. Here just a couple of weeks ago, I was driving in heavy traffic, and I looked both ways several times. I made sure everything was clear, and as soon as I started pulling out, it was a four-lane road I was crossing, a busy road, and I was about one block from another intersection to my right. That was another 4 lanes coming both directions, very busy part of town, and I was pulling out, and right as I started pulling out and got about across the two immediate lanes of traffic, another car from a driveway on my right-hand side shot out and shot right across in front of me as I was crossing the road to enter a driveway on the other side. And I immediately had to quickly brake, and then the other traffic coming towards me had to brake, and in order for that person that shot out of there to get out of the way, and then I had to proceed on across. And I got on across to where I was going and pulled in to a parking lot where I had to maneuver and back up and get into a parking spot. And I no more and pulled in and was ready to do my backing maneuver. And another car come flying around behind and shot him behind me into another spot. And I had to be aware of all the traffic all the way around me every minute of that entire maneuver to avoid being hit, not only once but twice in the same minute, because of traffic shooting all different directions around me as I was trying to make my maneuver. And I had to quickly twice make abrasive moves to avoid being hit. So it's very important to be very aware of all traffic all the way around you at all times. How far ahead should you look? Most good drivers look at least 12 to 15 seconds ahead. That means 15 seconds. At lower speeds, that's about 1 block. At highway speeds, it's about a quarter of a mile. If you are not looking that far ahead, you may have to stop too quickly and make quick lane changes. Looking 12 to 15 seconds ahead doesn't mean not paying attention to things that are closer. Good drivers shift their attention back and forth, near and far. See figure 2.6. And if you look at figure 2.6, you're seeing that demonstration. And I will reiterate that for bus drivers. I've been over 20 years in busing, the school busing industry. You absolutely have to check mirrors and check mirrors and check mirrors. You're stopping and picking up students. You're watching traffic. You're watching students getting on and off the bus. You're watching the location of the students that are off the bus, as well as whether the students getting on the bus are sitting down and the other students are staying in their seat, all while maintaining your visual all the way around your bus. You're also looking for dogs and animals that might run out with the child. Heaven forbid you run over that child's dog, because they come running to the bus. When the child got on the bus, the dog was following them, and now the dog has ventured underneath your bus while you were trying to pay attention to other traffic and pay attention to the kids on the bus, and the dog ran underneath your bus. So you got to be completely aware of everything around you at all times to avoid having collisions or catastrophes. Even worse, which I've had happen, is a little brother, little sister of children getting on the bus, follows their sibling out to the bus. Now you have a little 2 or 3-year-old child standing there beside the bus while you're trying to get loaded and get moved on. So now you're having to contend with the children on the bus, the traffic, and you're having to contend with the child that's standing too close to the bus on the side, and you have to wait for a parent to get that child back so that you can continue moving safely. So there's many things to contend with in driving all together and keeping an eye on your surroundings, but most particularly in a school bus, you have to be so alert and maintaining your visuals of all your mirrors and everything around you at all times. Moving on, looking 12 to 15 seconds ahead. Excuse me. Doesn't mean not paying attention to things that are closer. Good drivers shift their attention back and forth, near and far. Look for traffic. Look for vehicles coming onto the highway, into your lane, or turning. Watch for brake lights from slowing vehicles. By seeing these things far enough ahead, you can change your speed or change lanes if necessary to avoid a problem. If a traffic light has been green for a long time, it will probably change before you get there. Start slowing down and be ready to stop. Seeing to the sides and rear. It's important to know what is going on behind and to the sides. Check your mirrors regularly. Check more often in special situations such as a school bus stop where you're picking up children, as I just discussed. Mirror adjustments. Mirror adjustments should be checked prior to the start of any trip and can only be checked accurately when the trailer or straight trailers are straight. You should check and adjust each mirror to show some part of the vehicle. This will give you a reference point for judging the position of the other images. Regular checks. You need to make regular checks of your mirrors to be aware of traffic and check your vehicle. And when they say a portion of your vehicle should be visible, that means you should see 2 to 3 inches of the side of your vehicle on the back. The rest of your mirror should be showing traffic. That 2 to 3 inches gives you a reference of where your vehicle is in reference to where the other vehicles and traffic or objects are. So that is proper mirror adjustment. 2 to 3 inches of the back of your vehicle is all you should see in that mirror. The rest should be on the road and other objects and traffic. How far ahead to look? Regular checks. Here we go. Regular checks. You need to make regular checks of your mirrors to be aware of traffic and check your vehicle. Traffic. Check your mirrors for vehicles and on either side and back of you. In an emergency, you may need to know whether you can make a quick lane change. Use your mirrors to spot overtaking vehicles. There are blind spots that your mirrors cannot show you. Check your mirrors regularly to know where other vehicles are around you and to see if they move into your blind spots. And that's a very, very, very important thing to know, where your blind spots are, where the other traffic is at all times. And this gets really difficult in heavy city traffic, where you're traveling in 3 or more lanes in one direction with heavy traffic. You're trying to watch all this heavy traffic all at the same time and know where other vehicles are if you need to make a lane change, to be able to see if there's other vehicles in your blind spots or not. This can be done by speeding up or slowing down in order to get a good visual of your blind spot areas before you make a lane change. That way you can try to avoid making any contact with another vehicle that might be in your blind spot. Check your vehicle. Use the mirrors to keep an eye on your tires. It's one way to spot a tire fire. If you're carrying open cargo, you can use the mirror to check it. Look for loose straps, ropes, or chains, which for a flapping or ballooning tarp. And this is very important in flatbed hauling. If you have a tarp load, you have to constantly keep an eye on your tarp and make sure, like they said, that you don't have anything flapping or ballooning, which indicates you could be losing a tarp, or you could potentially have damage to your tarp. And so it's very important to keep an eye on that. I have had a brand new tarp that I ripped the corner off of, and it was nothing I could do about it. I was keeping a close eye on the tarp and making sure everything was working like it should. And as I checked my mirror, I seen it happen where the corner of the tarp came out from being tucked underneath. It came out in the wind and started flapping, and I immediately started pulling over to try to get it off the road and where I could fix that tarp. But before I could get pulled off to a safe spot, the tarp got into the tires on the tractor and ripped the corner of the tarp off. There was nothing I could do in that situation to avoid that happening. Unfortunately, it was just a bad deal, and it happens. But keep an eye on that stuff so that you know. I did know. I seen it happen immediately. Tried to pull over and get into a safe spot, but before I could get safely pulled over, it was in the tire. So things do happen, but do your due diligence to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, moving on. Special situations. Special situations require more than regular mirror checks. These are lane changes, turns, merges, and right maneuvers, or tight maneuvers. Lane changes. You need to check your mirrors to make sure no one is alongside you or about to pass you. Check your mirrors before you change lanes to make sure there is enough room. After you have signaled to check that no one has moved into your blind spot, right after you start the lane change, to double check that your path is clear. After you complete the lane change, turns, check your mirrors to make sure the rear of your vehicle will not hit anything. And this is tail swing. where tail swings come into play. You need to be very, very diligent in knowing how much of a tail swing you have in your vehicle. For instance, if you know you have a 2-foot tail swing, you need to make sure that you have more than 2 feet from the side of your vehicle to an object next to you before you make a turn left or right, either way. That way that 2-foot tail swing is not going to come in contact with another vehicle or object that may be too close to your vehicle when you make that turn. So always keep that in mind and always know what the tail swing of your vehicle is. There are some vehicles out there, such as large motorhomes, some buses, trailers, like cargo trailers, things like that, and some of your RV camping trailers, things like that. Some of those will have a 4-foot tail swing on them, and you have to be very aware of that and know that you have 4 feet on either side of over 4 feet on either side of your vehicle before you try to make a turn, or you may come in contact with something next to your vehicle or trailer. Um, Merges. When merging, use your mirrors to make sure the gap in traffic is large enough for you to safely enter, and always use your turn signals when changing lanes or merging into traffic. Tight maneuvers. Anytime you are driving in close quarters, check your mirrors often. Make sure you have enough clearance. So, if you're making tight maneuvers in and out of parking lots, in and out of loading yards, transfer stations, truck stops, docks, backing into docks, always checking all of your mirrors. Know where every corner of your vehicle and or trailer is at any time, so that you do not make contact with other objects. There's so many times I've seen truck stop accidents where the driver did not realize what the tail swing of their trailer is. And again, there's another very good situation. You might have up to a 6 or 8 foot tail swing on a 53-foot adjustable axle semi-trailer, and if you have your axles adjusted all the way forward, you could have a 6 or 8 foot tail swing on the back of that trailer. So make sure when you're pulling out of a truck stop and you got trucks on both sides of you, that your back of your trailer clears the front of the other trucks before you start your turn, so that you do not turn the back of your trailer into another truck. So that's very important, and that happens so often in truck stops. The driver doesn't take into consideration the tail swing on the back of that trailer, and you knock into another truck and cause thousands of dollars property damage to other people's equipment as well as yours. And so keep a close eye on that stuff, guys. How to use your mirrors. Use mirrors correctly by checking them quickly and understanding what you see. You should use your mirrors while driving on the road. Check quickly. Look back and forth between the mirrors and the road ahead. Don't focus on the mirrors too long, otherwise you will travel quite a distance without knowing what's happening ahead. Many large vehicles have curved, convex, fishy eye, spot bullseye mirrors. These are little different types of mirrors, or fisheye mirrors, in the front or on the sides, or little round mirrors on the main mirrors, called different things there. Bull eyes, fish eyes, convex, different mirrors that allow you to see other objects that might be near your vehicle. Now, these mirrors are not to be used for driving mirrors because they are a convex or a fisheye or bulleye, which is kind of a roundish mirror that's not going to give you an accurate distance of another object. So do not use them to judge distance or while driving. Only use them as a reference to see that there is an object there. They show a wider area than a flat mirror. This is often helpful, but everything appears similar in a convex mirror than it would if you were looking at it directly. Things also seem from further away than they really are. It's important to realize this and to allow for it. Figure 2.7 shows the field of vision using a convex mirror. And there you go. There's that graph. Apologize. Excuse me. So that concludes the basic vehicle controls of the general knowledge test. This was section 4, section 2.4, and section 2.4.1, which includes all of the controls. So, thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Have a good day. Bye now.